Okay, so somewhere along the way, we picked up this unspoken rule that real homeschool moms do everything themselves. Every subject, every worksheet, every project. But let me set you free right now. That's not the rule. Because if you want to teach some things yourself, that's great. But if you'd rather outsource some other things, even better. Either way, don't let anybody try to set the rules for you because this is homeschool. You get to do things your way. So if you're ready to learn how to bring more freedom and flexibility into your homeschool by outsourcing the right way, I'm here to show you how. Let's get started. Hi, I'm Elan Page. I'm a homeschool mom of two, and I help families reimagine education in a way that gives your family freedom. And today I want to remove this weight of unrealistic expectations that say that you have to do it all as a homeschool mom. Because I know from experience that we're juggling a lot. Our homes, our families, possibly our careers, and ourselves too, right? And so listen, you can't always carry the weight of doing everything yourself. So whether you lean on DoorDash for a meal or two or three, or maybe you have help cleaning the house a few times a month, or you have a sitter come and stay with the kids once a week so that you and your husband can actually get out and have a date night. Or maybe just so that you can have more time for yourself, whatever it might be. It's important to be able to outsource some things to keep us sane and to keep us healthy. And the same is true with homeschooling. So let me show you 3 practical ways that you can outsource in your homeschool and some of the benefits for doing so. Okay, here's the first way, and that's to outsource select subjects because you don't have to hand everything over if you don't want to. You can start small. So maybe it's a foreign language, maybe it's math, or maybe it's writing. And here's a pro tip. If there's maybe a subject that you're not very comfortable teaching or one that's maybe causing friction, then you can consider leveraging some help to tackle that subject. Now, I did this with my daughter because there was a point in our homeschool where math became a daily battle. We were forever butting heads to the point where she would start crying before every single math lesson. So I knew something had to change. And so we tried something new. I enrolled her in a small group math class on a platform called OutSchool for live virtual classes for K through 12. And almost instantly, things began to change. It was the same subject, it was the same content, but it was a completely different experience for her. Her teacher, shout out to Miss Megan, made math fun and relatable. And I love how much she cares about each of her students too, because she starts each class by asking them what they've done the past weekend. And so it's fun and it allows the kids to really open up and get ready for class. Now, my daughter loves the class and she started getting excited about math again. She got her confidence back and now our mother-daughter relationship has some breathing room. And so that's really one of the benefits of outsourcing. It's not about you doing less as a homeschool mom. It's about you utilizing the resources that are available to you to do what's best for your family. And here's the second way that you can do things. You can outsource all the subjects. Yeah, you heard me right. You can homeschool and not be your child's main teacher at all. So programs like virtual schools or on-demand platforms like Time for Learning or Acellus Academy can handle the instruction, the pacing, and the grading for you, which frees you up to be there for support, not the primary instruction. And this can be a great fit for your child too as they become older and more independent. So we're beginning to lean more on these types of programs for my 11-year-old as she's entered into middle school. And one of the primary programs that we've been using is made by Time for Learning, and they actually call it their Cinema Series, and it's made specifically for middle schoolers. Now, these on-demand or virtual programs are also a great fit if you, the parent, are also balancing your own work and need pockets of time where the kids can get their instruction from somewhere else while you handle the demands of your career. And they're also great for you if you're homeschooling multiple kids because each one can have their dedicated instruction without 2 or 3 or 4 of you trying to make it happen. And then here's the third way. You can outsource instruction and time with a micro school. Now, I realize that by using that word micro school, I may have thrown out a term that maybe you're unfamiliar with. So let's start there. A micro school is a small, independent learning community that blends elements of homeschooling, private schooling, and alternative education models. And unlike traditional private schools, micro schools have a very low student-to-teacher ratio, and they provide a customized learning experience that often incorporates a variety of teaching styles. So think project-based learning or real-world application. Now, yes, micro schools can be full-time, so like 5 days a week, or there are also many micro schools who offer part-time options that allow you to have the kids at home for a couple of days out of the week and then in person at the micro school for a few days a week as well. So they're a great resource to leverage to outsource time and instruction. And here's who they really work well for. So they're perfect for families who are looking for specialized instruction in advanced or hands-on subjects. So think maybe a STEM focus or focus in the arts. They're also great for families who want their kids to have social interaction, but in a small, very nurturing environment. So this can be really good for kids who maybe have social anxiety, and they do better in smaller, less overwhelming environments. And then they can also provide fantastic flexibility for working parents who need some time throughout the week where they can drop the kids off for periods of time, which allows them to also be present and focused in on work. Now, I have a couple of podcast episodes, episode 83 and episode 85, where I dive a little bit deeper into this topic of micro schools. So I'll link to those in the description below. So listen, if you get anything out of what I've talked about today, I want you to remember that homeschooling does not mean that you have to do everything yourself. It means that you get to craft an education plan that suits your family's needs and accomplishes your family's goals. So that means you get to choose how that looks by teaching some subjects, outsourcing others, or maybe even handing over the instruction altogether. Because outsourcing is not the easy way out. It's actually a strategy that brings more variety to your child's learning, boosts their confidence, and gives you the time and space to work or pour back into yourself. So free yourself from the shackles of thinking that you have to do it all, because as a homeschool mom, that was never meant to be your story. And if you're ready to start customizing your homeschool in ways that fit your life, I'd love to meet you. I want you to book a free call with me so that I can learn more about your journey and how I can support you. I'll put that call link in the description. So that's it for today. Be sure to subscribe and to keep tuning in for continued support in your homeschool journey. And don't forget, learning never ever stops. And homeschool is a beautiful way to live that out. I'll see you in the next one.